Have you ever loved someone so completely that when they betrayed you, it didn't just break your heart, it broke your mind? This is a man sitting in his car at 3 a.m., hands shaking, phone in one hand, bottle in the other. 3 weeks ago, he found the messages. 2 weeks ago, he stopped eating. 1 week ago, he stopped showing up to work. Tonight, he's trying to decide if the pain is worth surviving. From the outside, people say, just move on. She's not worth it. You'll find someone better. But they don't understand. Betrayal doesn't just break your heart. It fractures your reality. It rewires your brain. It turns your mind into a prison where the same questions replay endlessly. What did I do wrong? How did I not see this? Am I not enough? If you've ever been here, or if someone you love is drowning in this right now, this story will show you what's really happening inside the brain and why recovery is possible. Because betrayal trauma is real, and understanding it is the first step to surviving it. Let's break it down. The night he found the messages, something changed in his brain, not metaphorically, literally. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk explains, betrayal trauma activates the same neural pathways as physical assault. Your brain registers it as a survival threat. You're not overreacting. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it's designed to do. Here's what happened inside his mind. His amygdala, the brain's alarm system, went into overdrive, scanning for threats, replaying the discovery, imagining worst-case scenarios. His prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, tried to make sense of it. She said she loved me yesterday. She kissed me goodbye this morning. How is this real? But it couldn't reconcile the two realities. So his brain fragmented. One part, this is my wife, I trust her. Another part, she's been lying for 18 months. When reality splits like this, psychology calls it cognitive dissonance taken to the extreme. It's not confusion. It's a complete break in your sense of what's real. The first week, he couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, the messages, her face, the timeline he'd reconstructed. Doctors Matthew Walker, sleep researcher. Trauma prevents REM sleep, the stage where the brain processes emotional experiences. Without it, the traumatic memory stays raw, unprocessed, reliving itself over and over. The second week, the intrusive thoughts started, not just sadness, obsessive, invasive mental loops. Where was she when she said she was at work? Which of our friends knew? When did she stop loving me? What's wrong with me? He would check her social media compulsively. Scroll back through photos from months ago, looking for clues. Reread old text messages, searching for the moment it changed. Dr. Stephen Hayes, founder of acceptance and commitment therapy. The mind tries to gain control through analysis, but with betrayal, there are no answers that satisfy, so the questions become a compulsion. A ritual the brain performs to create the illusion of control. The obsession wasn't weakness. It was his brain's desperate attempt to make the world make sense again. The third week, depression hit, not sadness. Complete emotional shutdown. He stopped eating, stopped showering, stopped answering calls, sat in the dark for hours, feeling nothing and everything at once. Dr. Johan Hari on depression. Depression is often a signal that something in your life is unbearable and needs to change. The numbness isn't failure. It's your nervous system protecting you from pain it can't process. His body was doing what traumatized bodies do, shutting down to survive. By week 4, he started drinking, not for fun, for relief. The alcohol did what his brain couldn't. It quieted the intrusive thoughts. It numbed the obsessive questions. It let him sleep, finally. But it was a trap. Dr. Gabor Mate? Addiction is not a choice. It's a response to pain. People don't get addicted to substances. They get addicted to the relief from unbearable emotional suffering. He wasn't weak. He was self-medicating a psychological wound his brain didn't know how to heal. And every morning, the shame hit. Shame for drinking, shame for falling apart, shame for not being strong enough. The shame made it worse. Because now he wasn't just dealing with betrayal, he was dealing with depression, insomnia, obsessive thoughts, substance use, and the belief that all of it proved he was broken. But he wasn't broken. He was injured, and there's a difference. If you're watching this and thinking, this sounds like me, or this is someone I love, understand this. Betrayal trauma is one of the most underestimated psychological wounds. Here's why it hits so hard. It attacks your attachment system. Dr. Sue Johnson, attachment researcher. Humans are wired for connection. When the person you're most bonded to becomes the source of your pain, your brain experiences it as a life or death threat. Because evolutionarily, losing your primary bond meant you wouldn't survive. Your brain doesn't distinguish between emotional abandonment and physical danger. It floods your system with cortisol, the stress hormone. It keeps you in fight or flight mode constantly. It makes you hypervigilant, scanning for threats everywhere. That's why you can't just get over it. Your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. It shatters your sense of reality. Betrayal doesn't just hurt, it makes you question everything. If I couldn't see this, what else am I missing? If the person I trusted most was lying, who can I trust? If my judgment was this wrong, how can I trust my own mind? Dr. Judith Herman, trauma specialist. Betrayal by a trusted person creates a rupture in the survivor's worldview. The violation is not just of the relationship, it's of the self. You don't just lose a partner. You lose your belief that the world is predictable, that people are who they say they are, that you can trust your own perception. And rebuilding that takes more than time. It takes active healing. It triggers shame spirals. The worst part isn't the betrayal itself. It's what your mind does after. Why wasn't I enough? What did I do to deserve this? Everyone else will see me as the fool who didn't know. Dr. Brené Brown. Shame is the belief that there's something wrong with us. Betrayal activates shame because it makes us feel fundamentally unworthy. But here's the truth. Their betrayal is about their character, not your worth. The shame isn't true, but it feels true. And that's what keeps people stuck. 3 weeks in, sitting in his car at 3 a.m., he hit a moment of clarity. If I keep going like this, I won't survive. Maybe it was his friend calling for the 10th time. Maybe it was seeing his reflection. Maybe it was sheer exhaustion. But something shifted. He called the crisis line, then his brother. Then he went to the ER doctor, Viktor Frankl. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That night he chose survival. Not forgiveness, not moving on, just, I need help to survive this. And that decision, that single moment of choosing himself, was the beginning of healing. Recovery from betrayal trauma isn't about forgetting. It's about rewiring. Week 1 of recovery. Getting support. He started therapy, specifically trauma-informed therapy. Not couples counseling. Not closure with her. Therapy for himself. His therapist explained, "You're not crazy. You're experiencing a normal response to an abnormal violation of trust. Your brain is doing exactly what traumatized brains do." Hearing that he wasn't weak, that his reactions made sense, was the first step. Dr. Peter Levine. Somatic experiencing. Trauma is not what happens to you. It's what happens inside you when you lack the resources to process what happened. Therapy gave him those resources. Week 2 to 4. Stopping the numbing. He stopped drinking. Not because it was easy, because staying numb meant staying stuck. He joined a support group, people who'd been through betrayal. For the first time, he didn't feel alone. Dr. Brené Brown. Shame cannot survive being spoken. When we share our story with someone who responds with empathy, shame loses its power. The shame started lifting. Month 2 to 3, rewiring the brain. His therapist introduced EMDR, eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. It sounds strange, but it works. Dr. Francine Shapiro, EMDR founder. Traumatic memories get stuck in the limbic system. EMDR helps the brain reprocess them so they're stored as past events instead of current threats. Slowly, the intrusive thoughts quieted. The obsessive replaying stopped. The memories didn't disappear, but they stopped controlling him. Month 4 to 6. Rebuilding identity. He started doing things that had nothing to do with her. Hiking, reconnecting with old friends, learning something new. Dr. Kristen Neff on self-compassion. Healing requires treating yourself the way you'd treat a good friend, with kindness, with patience, with the understanding that suffering is part of being human. He learned that his worth wasn't determined by someone else's capacity to see it. Month 6 plus. Integration. 6 months later, he's not healed in the fairy tale sense. He still has hard days, triggers that catch him off guard, moments where the pain resurfaces. But now he has tools. He knows the triggers are just triggers, not truth. He knows that what happened revealed her character, not his inadequacy. And he knows that trust can be rebuilt, not with her, but with people who earn it. So how did she do it? The answer isn't complicated: compartmentalization. She split her life into boxes. Box 1. I'm a good wife. Box 2. I have this other thing. And she protected those boxes from ever touching. Psychology calls this moral disengagement, the mental gymnastics we do to justify doing things that violate our values. She might have had avoidant attachment, wanting closeness but fearing it, narcissistic traits. Rules don't apply to me. Low empathy, unable to feel his pain. But here's what matters. None of it was his fault. Her broken coping mechanisms are not his inadequacy. If you're watching this because you've been betrayed, what you're feeling is real. The intrusive thoughts, the obsession, the depression, the inability to just move on, it's all a normal response to trauma. You're not weak. You're injured. And injuries heal, but only with proper care. What you need: support, professional help, people who understand time, actual time, not pressure to get over it. If someone you love is going through this, they need your patience, not your advice. They need your presence, not your judgment. Don't say, just move on. Say, I'm here. Take your time. For the person betrayed, hear this. Their cheating was not about you. It was about their inability to face discomfort with honesty. You were enough. You are enough. What they did revealed their deficiency, not yours. Recovery is possible. Trust can be rebuilt, not with them, but with yourself and eventually with people who've earned it. The opposite of betrayal isn't revenge. It's healing. And healing starts when you stop asking, what's wrong with me? And start asking, what do I need to survive this? You survived the betrayal. Now choose to survive the aftermath. The more you understand how minds work, the harder it becomes for anyone to play with yours again. If this helped, hit subscribe. And remember, you are not defined by what they did. You are defined by what you choose to do next. Choose healing. Choose yourself.